This is TWiT.
So some people yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, oh no, maybe it was Monday. I'm like, where are we in the week? But their Google Docs, they found themselves locked out of their Google Docs because they violated Google's terms of service. And this was really interesting because, yeah, people were like, wait, what? Google's reading my docs? And then, wait, what? Google could just lock me out of my,
This is
articles
based on
and
the
papers?
content of the docs?
Yeah, that's
they
what
they check
the theory
for
is.
certain things.
So if I write a short story that has hate speech in it, because the antagonist is hateful, they could conceivably...
If you only store it there, no. But if you share it, then you're distributing.
But, I mean,
something.
as a reporter, I write stuff in Google Docs and, share it with all kinds of people, my editors, my copy team, whoever.
So according to Mashable, National Geographic reporter Rachel Bale was locked out of a draft of a story she was writing about wildlife crime.
So the New York Times articles, so it's AI. So
Google says it's an error and they fixed it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But they said it was one of the experts the New York Times quoted said it was Google's using advanced machine learning and other AI technologies to examine vast amounts of information in real time.
Like reading your docs.
Right. But so it could be an error in the way the AI was created, like all the other sad AI errors, like remember Tay from Microsoft or Google's photos that hated black people.
But it reveals that Google's reading your docs, which I...
Yeah, we knew they were reading them for the purposes of advertising.
Really?
Well, that was already mail.
They're not even reading my mail anymore.
Mail.
But they're not even doing that anymore.
Your mail.
You're right. They weren't. Yep.
Reading our Google Docs? This
is interesting. Like, I wanted to know, is this everyone or is this also like I have a what is it called? The Google admin, the account you pay for. So I have a paid Google account and some professional companies do this as well. And if my internal docs and memos were being scanned by Google, that would be after I paid Google. This is not, again, the free stuff.
So all these people with Chromebooks are giving everything that's on that Chromebook to Google for their perusal?
That's pretty weird.
It's not by a human.
No, I understand. It's machine. So that's the moral panic when people say somebody's reading your mail, but it's not somebody, something, but still. And they can lock you out, whether by accident or intentionally. You don't own that doc. They own that doc.
That was what I thought was most disturbing / something we should probably, that's one of those complicated things we should probably figure out. Google says this was an error. They changed a rule and it automatically flagged a lot of people. But
here's what Google says. They said this yesterday. Technically, we don't read files. Instead, we use an automated system of pattern matching to scan for indicators of abuse. Though it can identify clusters of data that might suggest a violation, the system does not pull meaning from the content, according to a company spokesman. So what that means is, in effect, they're doing a grep for hateful words. And if the N word is in your doc, they don't look at what's which is frankly even worse. They don't look at what's surrounding it. They just say, "Oh, you're using the N word a lot in there. That's hate speech,"
which is obviously dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so they're not looking at the meaning or context of what you're reading.
Well, that's the problem. If you're it's the same problem that when Google, we've talked about this in the show, when Google started accounting for the authority, reliability, and quality of sources, trying to get hate speech out of search results, search ranking. Well, guess what happened? Some liberal sites that were complaining about hate found themselves demoted.
That's the problem with algorithmic solutions like this.
Yep.
But this is very concerning. I don't, wow.
I hate, like, to get locked out of a document. I mean, imagine, and to not, and we all know that Google is pretty sucky when it comes to trying to solve problems quickly for you, right? Yep. No one's like, oh, Google, you're so awesome at customer service. So I think this probably leads to, dear God, Google, so many people depend on your things. You got to make your customer service better. Because, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, the lesson to take away from this is, computers are reading your documents, or that, what is it? Oh gosh, I forgot the other lesson. Okay.
That you don't own something. That if you're going to create something, whether it's a photo or an article or a short story, you should put it somewhere you own.
Or all this stuff should be encrypted and nobody can read it.
Yeah, if you encrypt
Google,
it now,
not the government. Nobody.
Chromebook doesn't really. Well, I guess it does. You could put. There's a mini lock, for instance, a mini lock Chrome extension. You could, in theory, save locally, run it through mini lock, and then put it on your Google Drive. No one's going to do that.
No.
No.
No, it would have to be designed by Google.
Well, no, they have a Chrome extension that's not designed by Google. It's called Mini Lock.
No, I'm saying if you're going to make it easy.
Yeah.
Google
well,
can
make
do
another
end-to-end encryption.
Yeah, but But my question, so their terms of service say you're not allowed to post hate speech and other stuff. But I'm not posting it. I'm writing a private document.
Unless you share it. The question is if you share it.
So this is only...
If you... See, I think that if you made something public via Google Docs and it had hate speech and Google was put in a position of distributing that, I can see Google saying, oh, no, we have some right to not be the vehicle for this. But that's hard enough to imagine how you police that. But it's no different in a sense from saying that hate speech doesn't belong on Facebook or Twitter. So Google as publisher, Blogger, or Google Docs publishing, I get that. But anything short of that, anything that's mine, and I share it with you, Leo, and we have a private relationship, and you asked to see my short story, no, Google should not be inserting itself in there. Now, the next period is what's Google doing, not just for itself and its own liability, what's it doing in terms of government?
Bale, by the way, says that her account access was restored yesterday. Google says it was a bug, but it still raises, to me, this very interesting issue. And, of course, one response is, well, you shouldn't have your only copy of anything on Google.
Don't write in the CMS.
Yeah, and so right. Don't write in the CMS. And so Rachel's Fact says she's not going to do that anymore. She's not going to write on Google Docs. Although if you're in a Chromebook and you're, that's all you can do.
You can.
I write everything in Google Docs.
Yeah,
or maybe not everything. I write a lot of things. I mean, because Word? If I don't have to use Word, yay. And
used it in years.
But now maybe you should use Word because at least you own your document. Of course, by the way, Microsoft Word by default now saves your documents to OneDrive.
Yeah.
Which probably has a similar policy.
Well, it's bad enough that there was a document, the fact that they shut down her entire account. And as Stacey just said, they're not exactly responsive.
Do they... Oh, interesting. Nick Fountain, who does a podcast, says his podcast script, he's a producer of Planet Money, says his podcast script was blocked by Google.
That's an NPR product, for God's sake.
Planet Money has no hate speech on it.
That's a news organization found its account blocked because of what Google read in a script. Wow. That's Google. Guys, wise up. This is why you're sitting in Washington sweating.
Yeah, and if you're going to do something like this, maybe don't do it to journalists because...
Yeah, I guess you're going to... Yeah. Well, what's interesting is how many journalists use Google Docs. We use Google. You use Google. We use Google Docs.
It's the best for editing because the comment system is real time. I mean, it's really nice.
Which means I share all the time.
Right. I mean, Kevin and I share, and we prefer, our other option is... Who's going to send Word documents back and forth?
I can set you up. Ludicrous. I could set you up. You probably could use GitHub and Atom. It's going to commit to GitHub, so you have this other problem.
Good God, no. See, when you say the words GitHub,
I know
brain
you don't
is
like that either. Okay, and they have some. There's some issues at GitHub as well.
Yeah. So I thought that story was worth talking about because.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering what I'm going to do with my Pixel book.